This call is being recorded.
How you doing? Let's see. Oh, can you hear me? No way. Oh, okay. Damn. I can't
Can you hear me
hear
now?
you. Oh, there we go. I can hear you.
Okay. I was trying to Bluetooth in the car, but I never use it, and I guess it doesn't pick up my input, so I'll just hold my phone. No worries.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Um, um, yeah. So, have we done a natal chart reading before?
No, the first reading I got was the lunar eclipse one
All right,
back
that's
in.
awesome.
Yep.
Well, yeah. In that vein, please don't hesitate to interrupt me if you have any questions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed very um, ironically, you have your sun 8 degrees Leo right on my south node. So we do have a bit of some past life connection.
Oh
I don't know if
wow,
you,
the same degree?
yeah, dude, I saw that
Oh
just now.
wow.
That's awesome. Um,
Yeah.
I've been coming to enjoy the lesson of the south node. But yeah, once again,
Uh-huh.
please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions whatsoever. Right off the
Perfect.
bat, actually, I take that back because you're 8 degrees Aries. My bad. I read that wrong. But your rising is 12 degrees Leo, and that's right next to my south node. So it still applies just more personally. Actually, my Mars is 8 degrees Aries. So you conjunct my Mars, which is pretty dope.
Oh shit.
Um,
I'm not
yeah,
super familiar with degrees yet, but I just started actually studying astrology and get the foundations right instead of just intuitively taking it in, but also just being disorganized. So it should be fun.
well, I'm going to break down a few things. Congratulations for your upcoming Jupiter return next
Yeah.
year. You definitely, I won't make this too much of a transit forecast, but uh, oh, this is lit, dude. Like you're going through 2.5 years of controlled opposition as a solar king, right? As a Leo rising. So your relationship house is under construction during this period. You very well may get married or enter a business partnership. And then next year, your whole life transforms because based on the knowledge of how you show up this year, the results of partnership will now bring deeper intimacy. And with your dealings with others, with Jupiter here, the way that you actually share your resources with others denotes great abundance and wisdom. It's 12th house to your sun. So people will, for no reason, actually actively want to take advantage of you because they think it's a blind spot and what you're sharing with them is like beyond what they're used to. It's like a dream. And this is one thing that Leo and Leo risings learn the hard way as far as boundaries and being able to trust people because Leo is the performer. It's the main character. You're the main character. So most people are going to want you because you're a star, not because they truly like you. In fact, most people are going to be jealous as fuck of you. But this is the cool thing that I want to establish, which I think is amazing. Technically, you know what I'm saying? Um, there's personally in this article, I'm going to send you a 10-degree delineation here, but I like to see the same time. You, my friend, are an alien. Congratulations, you're alien gang. And
Yeah.
you're part of the vessel crew. I am too, in that actually, technically, I want to do an article that brings in the personal planets because you have Venus on your sun, which I mean, and if you don't want to see these as aliens, you can see them as gods, or you can see them as like higher beings through the planets, right? So you have Pluto on your moon. In fact, not only are you a vessel alien of Pluto, which is one of my favorites, Pluto vessel aliens are actually a little scary. I've had an experience of this where you can discover other secrets, you can sense negativity, you can feel into the depth of this extreme with Pluto, Scorpio, pure energy, because Scorpio is a pure energy of wisdom. So you can also communicate with snakes and eagles, protect others from IRS audits, reflect power back to others so they can own it. I'm going to share that article with you so that you can check it out. Um, it's going to be very important because the North Node is going to go into Taurus, and the South Node is immediately going to unlock your moon and have you harness more of this pure soul dynamics. But I mean, I've spoken to a Gemini sun with this Scorpio moon, and I remember at the time feeling about a situation that I didn't tell anybody. Like no one knew I felt like this. And it wasn't like something simple. It was very complex. And like this woman, while I'm talking to her in the airport, is like, oh yeah, and by the way, you feel this in the situation. I'm like, how dare you? Like, I wasn't angry, but I was just like, holy shit, like how did she just so casually just she didn't even sound like she was trying to like she just so casually just knew, just like spoke to it. I'm like, wow, like Scorpio moon with Pluto, y'all are dangerous. It's not really dangerous, it's profound, but like just that intuitive understanding, which as a Leo rising in the fourth house will denote this automatic psychoanalyzation of people at the most deepest psychological level that you'll just feel. So like the fourth house Scorpio is very difficult with Pluto because you're taking the element of complex social emotions and trust and this extreme irrational intimacy. And this is now your private life. Would it be correct to say that you're very extremely private about who you let in your inner world?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Mm,
obviously, this would mean like, you need you need to trust someone before you let them in. But like, I just wanted to make sure you resonate with that as far as that applying to you. And thank
it
you, by the
does.
way. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead. Oh,
It
please don't
yeah.
hesitate to interrupt, by
hmm
the way,
It
if you have to.
it does resonate, and at the same time, it feels like I've been gullibly just open to just about anyone, just out of uh, foolish kindness to a degree, but also
Okay.
very private. It's very conflicting, but I'm finally getting around to play with my energies.
Which is awesome because you are coming into your Saturn return, which is really dope. So, or you already completed your Saturn
Yep.
return. And if I can,
The Saturn return, that is.
yes, sir, you completed your Saturn return. And
Yeah,
if
it was
we can,
rough.
oh, I'm so glad you said that, especially, I really super honor the 80s and Saturn and Sag because
hmm
you and I are Pluto Scorpio gang. In fact, not only are you a Vessel fam, like you and I are similar in that we have the Scorpio signature, so we're transformers. And the reason why I have to preface this like this is with the everyone is different. Everyone has their own unique abilities, which is why I like obsessed with reading astrology charts because it's just like, oh my god, what's your ability? Or how do you tap into energy? So like, I have my moon in Cap, Sun in Gemini. I have your moon in Scorpio, Sun in Aries. Our moon is eighth house from our sun, which induces a transformational state with which we can transform our spirits and become more our soul, if that makes sense, because of the different states and elements which can clash. It's not the drawback is it's not easy to have this energy because Aries is boundless and it's cardinally direct, it's instinctual, but Scorpio's fixed, it strategizes, it is receptive to pure energy. So Aries wants to move now, but Scorpio's like, we need to feel the vibe. Like, is it? And Aries is like, I don't care about the vibe. Like, I'm trying to move. What are you talking about? And then, but Scorpio will give Aries wisdom in order to take more, actions filled with depth, and learning to like balance or mediate both is amazing, because you're literally the vessel of Hades. I have Saturn on my moon. So like I can induce a transformation state to kind of like induce the full power of Saturn. You can step into a subconscious or conscious transformation state to actually fuel the extreme pure energy of Scorpio to express through your Aries sun, which is undoubtedly badass, because now as the main character, as a Leo rising, as a solar king, Mikael, you have the vibration of pure originality. You're the pure warrior, or the warrior king here, because Scorpio is an aspect of pure royalty. You're the vessel of soul wisdom as a pure soul, as an extremely pure soul. Pluto's influence in your soul or next to your moon is going to actually even induce disgust responses when you have to deal with people who are just full of crap and definitively just like not pure. Okay, a lot of that is not really going to be from you as much as it is this extremely pure uh energy and entity that is one with you and a part of you, but also in a sense interesting, but also in a sense in a position to, you know, oh wow, accordingly, like um affecting that behavior. Oh, thank God, thank God. So yeah, personally, um, yeah, wow. So personally, once again, this is really on top of that. Wow, we've kind of broken down how you do that. I think just to finish my thought, we're Pluto Scorpios. We're here to we're here to fuck it up. We're here to destroy the old order, right? Pluto is destruction. It's transformation, but it's also purification, and the sign of Scorpio, which is death. And so after death, you have a new life, Sagittarius. And the reason why that's important is because after this destruction happens, Pluto goes into Scorpio when Saturn goes into Scorpio. And then Pluto finishes Scorpio when Saturn leaves Pisces and goes into Aries, starts a brand new karmic cycle. So Saturn Sag, Saturn Cap, Saturn Aqua, Saturn Pisces are the collective karmic authorities who are literally responsible for the whole world and everything. If you think that you're a social individual, because your moon is in the high social sign of Scorpio, which is, of course, pure royalty, underground luxury. I mean, Pluto is literally the lord of the underworld and mob ties and all that. But, or, deeper psychological occult understandings that you're going to pick up on anyone. It's interesting to see the North Node 0 degrees Taurus, because it will likely be also South Node Scorpio. So now your soul, in an indirect way, is an aspect and quality of your past life that you're bridging in order to manifest a supernaturally extreme grounded legacy, which is cool because your legacy in your chart is 28 degrees MC on Venus. Normally, when Venus is attached to one's MC or 10th house, beauty or giving and receiving finances is going to be a huge instance and facet of your legacy. It doesn't have to be like beauty products, but this element of, normally people with MC on Venus dress very sharp. Aries is going to be, not so much flashy as hot, and the spark that really attracts attention, especially as a Leo rising. But because you have Leo and Sag, I'm sorry, Leo and Sag, because you have Saturn and Sag, I always like to honor that, because your soul group kicks off the first collective karmic responsibility and duty to hold the collective responsible to the derivation of the meaning of truth. You even happen to have Chiron of healing communication in Gemini opposite this, transmuting the vibration and the frequency of truth and discerning what things are in the 11th relative to your attitude influenced by the people you're around, which is important because now Chiron in the 11th here means that you have a message to share with people, and you're someone who can heal, in this individual public speaking sense, how you connect with friends and how you attract insight from friends that help heal your mind and vice versa. Saturn is going to be a stabilizing element that, representing opposite influences, can undermine, sometimes inhibit, and limit how much you believe in that truth relative to this critical discernment of fleshing out what the truth means, but also now having this unconventional authority over, in some cases, reality warping what this truth is. And that's just crazy because now this is the square to Jupiter in Pisces. Your sun trines Saturn, which is important because Uranus trines Venus. Your chart is badass, I'm not gonna lie. And you even have Mars in its exaltation, which Mars is the ruler of Aries. And so your ruler is in uh, Capricorn is exaltation next to Neptune, which literally transcends every action you take and aligns it with this legitimately supernatural, extra dimensional, metaphysical, abstract nature of the intuitive connection to your physiological response to the actual God broadband connecting with Neptune. In a short way, and in a quick way, to say your body's literally linked with the astral realm. And so all of us with this, because this spans from like the late 80s to the late 90s, where our bodies move on its own because we're sensually linked with God intuitively in this sense. We don't have to say with God, but with this intuitive energy. You can think of it as our bodies being psychic Wi-Fi. So your Mars of action is connected to here in the sixth, where your lifestyle and the discipline that goes into, of course, taking action is intuitively linked with this psychic sense of timing, to where you can just decide to, oh my gosh, I have to go to the corner store. And because you go to the corner store, you know what I'm saying, you meet somebody who ends up being significant to your life because you trusted that intuition, and you don't even have to be conscious of this. So I want to take my time to break that down. But personally, with Saturn in the fifth, this, of course, is stabilizing discipline in your inner child and your creative talents. Because with Uranus here, the way you express your creative talents is Leo rising, which the expression of Sagittarius is joy and fun coming from the source of love in the heart. And Saturn may seem to bring limits. Normally, people with Saturn the fifth have delays or limitations in dating. It's not like you can't date, but you're going to be very serious about expressing your talents and expressing romance. And Uranus is going to bring just such unconventional dynamics that are linked with your heart and the way you express that publicly as an individual. But once again, your chart is dope because not only do you have this transformational power and energy, so I have transformational power because it's in Capricorn. You have pure transformational energy to fuel your spirit power. The most powerful part of your entire chart, other than Mars and its exaltation, is the sun, which every time I see Leo rising, Sun Aries, it's gangster to me. It's a very huge deal. So to see the gangster Saturn stabilize and trine, you're super powerful. I don't see how like you don't have superpowers with this, especially with Mars and Capricorn, that you're really coming to unlock literally. Like never before, post awakening. So your sun is in the ninth house of ascension. If we were to do Placidus, it falls in the eighth house, but because Aries is your ninth house, it's like a ninth house sun that falls in the teeters of the eighth house, which is like a Los Angeles cop that is teetering on the border of like Oregon. They don't have jurisdiction in Oregon, but they're right across the state lines. That's kind of how your sun is. It's still going to be influenced by it just chilling in Oregon or the eighth house. So you're going to take this awareness of this deeper, raw, passionate, transformative, intimate individual action that you bring to light, and the depth and occult nature of people's characters that you can show, reflect, and literally bring to light. But the Aries ninth house is very significant with the sun here, because now we know that through transformation, you have an ascension state of your spirit, which is very key because as a Leo rising, the sun rules your entire chart. And so the sun, some astrologers will say that the Cancer rising and Leo rising Apparently the sun or the moon luminaries can't rule a chart. It can only be planets. So that because of this, Mercury rules your chart. I say fuck that. The sun definitely has a powerful rulership of your chart. Even if it didn't, we know that as a Leo rising, you resonate very well with your sun. And so as
Mm.
your sun being in Aries, right? This is important because the sun is in its exaltation in Aries. So not only is the sun exalted in Aries, just like Mars is exalted in Capricorn. I have Mars in Aries. So exactly where your sun is. So I have Mars in its dignity, but you have Mars in its exaltation, just like you have the sun in its exaltation. And this exalted quality that we see here, okay, with these planets and energies are, or rather in this case, with these powers, are very important because this now puts you in a position where, because the ninth house is the ninth house of God and comedy, this now, we know that your solar king as a Leo rising and pure king too as a Scorpio moon, this now exalts your spirit to the status of sun God king, where the exaltation of your spirit in Aries in this ascended full quality in the ninth gives you a supreme and ascended awareness of the individuality of an individual's character. And the Scorpio moon will give you such a base, deep, pure insight of the wisdom and hidden nature of that character you're literally seeing. Venus in the 10th could even be the filter of you being able to see how to polish someone's character and help bring them to the light. This could even be a part of your destiny, where you're polishing and you're taking that darker, in some cases traumatic or hidden, misunderstood facet of someone's wisdom or energy. Boom, you manifest it, polished, grounded, so that it could be practically experienced or used or put into work. So, personally, we know that the Saturn trine from Saturn to the sun is going to take this powerful Aries rising energy power, and it's going to influence it by the perception. Everything that Sagittarius is a perceptual magic that changes how you see visually by adding meaning. You're coming into this karmic lesson and karmic power of authority over how you creatively express the meaning of any experience. If we now take into account the T square of Jupiter and Mercury, the way you process information links with your soul. Mercury in Pisces is a bit taboo because Mercury likes to be in like Libra or Gemini or Virgo, where it can just analyze and crunch numbers. Mercury doesn't really like to be in Pisces, where it has to talk to spirits and like literally with your brain process metaphysical and non-material phenomena. It could be a bit weird or strange in Pisces because this is a nonlinear realm where, unlike Earth, things constantly change relative to the vibe around you. So you know how to read between the lines, especially in the eighth house, because this is behind your sun. This is now intimate processing of phenomena that will be transcended and somewhat hidden from you, in that you can process things before you're consciously aware of them and really sense vibrationally the energy with which you deal with other people. This is important because as a Leo rising, you actually manifest critical perspectives. So you have receipts. This is important because as a Taurus rising, I have Gemini in my second house. So I'm getting paid, especially by you, to talk to you. This is because I manifest Gemini. Now my son's here, I'm more aware of it. You manifest Virgo. Even though your awareness of this is as an Aries, which takes the critical perspective and your solar prominence as a Leo and exalts the actions you take as an individual to really carve your career. Because your MC in Aries means that your legacy is to literally do you. not to operate under some corporation. Your legacy it favors self-promotion and of course self-employment, but you're taking individual actions to assert your individuality and to really make a living really based off your identity. So you're manifesting Virgo, which means it's a level up higher than I have. People will pay you for real social critical perspectives and to because in Virgo, manifest physical experiences. So I'm going to manifest Gemini communication. You may manifest communication, but more so with real physical material, although you're not limited to that. So that's really fascinating because we know Uranus trines Venus. And I want to speak to Venus on an MC because the MC that we see you have in the ninth house speaks to you being a counselor of some sorts. You're a teacher. You're a teacher of originality. You're a king spirit teacher of spirit and beauty here. Beauty doesn't necessarily have to be looks, as much as it is the individuality of action, the beauty of your rawness and originality. Venus and Aries could even be like exercise, so you could be a life coach of some sorts, where you're pushing people to really express the passion of their heart, but it's going to really speak to exaltation and coming into, great success the more you attach this there. So it'd be interesting to know what it is you do, because this will also speak to your raw original sense of humor, which will also play in here. So because well, there's Chiron, but because Uranus trines this at 22 degrees, very unconventionally, this adds this very never before seen unique element to how dynamically you ascend and show people this facet of yourself. If we speak to Mars in its exaltation, once again, this is super psychic. There's nothing normal about your Mars position. And the integration in the six would really denote that you're somewhat disciplined. It's a leash to Aries, Capricorn. So whereas I have Mars in Aries and I make the most instinctually raw, reckless decisions, or not even decisions, I just take the action. I'll just do it. And it'll be like, wow, I could have thought about doing that. That's insane. You actually have Mars in Capricorn where it's like, okay, you're going to have the desire to do it, but you're going to control what you're doing methodically and organized. And you're going to have this an exalted physical power where instead of just moving instinctually, you gather that energy and you control with the highest maximum power here. David Goggins has this and as an Aquarius. And I mean, he sent a text to Joe Rogan. And if you watch to his videos, he's on some like maximum motivation stuff. He's not even trying to motivate you. He's just like, yeah, like, don't be a bitch. Like, you got to push yourself.
He's intense.
Dude, he's like a monster. He's a machine. Like he does not fuck around. He does not play around. And
No.
he has Mars in Capricorn though, and that's a part of it, because even though a lot of his sun being Aquarius, right? And so he's like an ascendant master, but like as a Mars in Capricorn, that's that determination to not get in your feelings and just completely take action and move forward and be. It's literally like the greatest action that anyone can have, or the greatest sense of activity from desire. So the link to Neptune is going to intuitively and supernaturally, subconsciously guide your desire and action with this supernatural sense of timing, which relative to the environment around you will also align and integrate your incredible behavior. So the T square with Jupiter is going to influence how much more intuitive you are, and your brain can process the intent of the experience of other people. And I wish that wasn't so helplessly vague and that I could explain that better. But I'm going to end this recording and send you this reading. Did you have any final questions at all?
No, that was lit. I just want to thank you.
No problem, bro. Well, you stay blessed as always, and we'll definitely keep in touch. And yeah, I'll send this to you right.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mike.
No problem. And have a blessed weekend.